Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. Today is going to be an open panel. Anybody that would like to join, hit that link. Otherwise, we'll hang out for a little while. Then I'll get out of your hair. What's going on, CJK? If you guys are looking for that link, it is pinned. What's up, kitty cat? Yes, I am back. Good to see you, Cindy. Holy heck. Shadowbox, I'm at a music festival with 85,000 people still tuning in. Well, hopefully you stay safe. CJK says, I heard Ali Mata got booted from the courtroom. That's news to me. Misunderstood. How are you? Thank you. Hope the same to you. Hope everything's well on your side. I appreciate that. You can't hear anything? You guys cannot hear me. Well, it's going to be difficult to do a podcast if you guys can't hear me. She is a guest of Kathy Allen's. What? CJK, yes, so far so good. Hope your Saturday's going well. Thank you, Misunderstood. Kitty Cat. Lady Fierce, how are you? Thank you. Appreciate that. Melissa Wildcard, hi. Judge Gold demanded defense diaries Allison Mata leave the courtroom after she tried to view the exhibits that Gold said were for the media. Interesting. None of your business. What up, Sleuth? Okay. Good to see everybody enjoying their Saturdays. Stephanie, what's up? CJK, Fight for Justice, Miss Dog Lover. What do you guys think about the thumbnail? Does that look like deep water? I keep hearing that the water was deep. That doesn't look like deep water. Doesn't look like it's rushing either. Look at those white rapids right there in the middle. Ooh. And that's exactly where the girls crossed right there. Does that look deep to you guys? I mean, it may even be over this guy's ankles in the middle. However, would a 5'5" Richard Allen get across that creek? Probably by just simply walking. It looks like at the deepest, it's not even 3 feet. What's going on, Anna? Good to see you. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can't hear me. 85,000 people. David Lowry, welcome in. Oh, I saw that today, Kitty. I saw that. I almost watched it. But instead, I got caught up watching this on Netflix. Here, let me put this over here so you guys can see it. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a case on Netflix about Lois Reese. I would have watched the dating game serial killer movie if it wasn't for this true crime series on Netflix about Lois Reese out of Minnesota. You're going to talk about interesting. Yeah, let me share my screen with you. Thank you, Lady Fierce. Says justice for Abby and Libby. I appreciate you for that. All right, you guys go watch this. It's dubbed The Killer Grandma. She's only like in her late 50s, mid 50s or whatever, but that's what they dubbed it because she looks like a grandma. Hopefully you can hear this.
To the latest on that grandmother accused of murdering her husband and her lookalike, then going on the run. Newly obtained video shows the moment she was finally captured. ABC's Victor Okendo.
Yeah, so she went on there was a manhunt for this lady. She killed her husband, and then while she was on the run for his murder, she went to Florida and she befriended another woman and killed her, stole her identity, all her money, her car, and then made her way to Texas and was going to do that again to another woman, but thank God she had security cameras in her home. And she kind of made a comment to her like, "Yeah, I got these security cameras and we were able to catch some car thieves outside." So it saved her life. But check this out.
In Fort Myers, Florida, where she's behind bars now. Good morning, Victor.
Crazy.
Good morning, Michael. Lois Reese spent the night right here at the Lee County Jail. This grandmother, accused of murdering 2 people, is not going anywhere anytime soon after a judge denied bond. We're also learning some new information. It was revealed in court that she might have psychosis, and she's not taking her medication. Lois Reese, the grandmother who eluded authorities for weeks after allegedly killing 2 people in 2 states, standing before a judge.
Would you like to be screened for the services of the public defender?
Sure. The 56-year-old, wearing an anti-suicide smock, listening by phone Sunday during her first appearance for a number of charges, including murder, grand theft, and identity theft. The nationwide manhunt for the alleged gambling addict, known to authorities as Losing Streak Lois, coming to an end
She's
10
a gambling
days ago
addict.
inside this Texas restaurant near the Mexican border. This surveillance video showing her capture, taken into custody right from her seat at the bar. Reese had been on the run since last month, accused of shooting her husband David in Minnesota before taking off for Fort Myers, Florida. It was there authorities say she befriended 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson, allegedly targeting her because they looked alike so she could steal her identity before allegedly killing her, stealing her car, and heading to Texas. Seen in this video, seemingly asking for directions.
Jeez.
Reese.
Yeah, you guys, I highly recommend that. I was watching it earlier today and it was pretty good. It blew my mind. Hey, Stephanie. Fight for Justice. How you doing? What's going on, Miss Dog Lover? Anna. David. Yeah, I'm going to check that out tomorrow. None of your business. They need life jackets. Yeah, they need ankle jackets. Oh my god, the water's so deep. Look how deep that water is. It might be up to his knees. However, did Richard Allen cross that creek? It looks impossible. I hope you guys aren't falling for that shit. Like, how stupid is that? I've heard some stupid shit, but that's amongst the stupidest. And I'm a fucking idiot. Melissa, good to see you. Terrifier 3. Oh, gosh. Is that the one with the creepy clown? Oh, hell no. No, thank you. That puts it to shame. Yeah, I mean, look how deep that is. I mean, that's like white water rapids right there. That's crazy. I mean, a 3-year-old could cross that. It's really strange, you know, and people have been trying to bring that narrative up for a long time. But it's just really strange to keep hearing it. Like, we're not talking about a river, we're talking about a creek. It's really funny. How did Richard Allen ever cross that creek? He's only 5'5". You guys, I'm super short too. And I used to cross rivers, raging rivers, and I'd take my backpack and hold it up over my head. And what I'm seeing here right now on the screen is nothing like that. I mean, you could run across this creek. It's just ridiculous to hear that shit. David, yeah, it's knee deep at the deepest part. However, did Richard Allen cross the creek? It was raging waters. It was flooding. It was this. It was that. Here you go. Here's the evidence right here. You're looking right at it. You have folks that they're standing on the sandbar, and the water's up to their ankles, and then you have a group over here to the left that are standing in nearly the deepest part, and it's up to their knees. However, did Richard Allen and the girls cross the creek? They would have been swept away. Flash floods. Hey, Lala. I mean, please tell me you guys aren't buying that shit. Hey, Anna. Ooh, maybe we'll watch it. Yeah, me and my wife are going to watch a movie later. You know what that means. That's code for us. So maybe I'll recommend that. It looks creepy. I'll give you that. It looks creepy. Hey, Barbara. I could walk across it and I'm only 5 foot. Yeah, I'm 5'6". But I'm not tiny like Richard Allen. You know, I'm a solid 180, size 10 shoes. But I don't think Richard Allen's as big of a pussy as people try to make him out to be. You know, he went through basic training. He was in the military for a while. He seems to flop like a fish. Don't let people fool you. I mean, just let your eyes do all the truth telling for you. You can see it visually. There is a sandbar in the middle of the creek. You have people that are standing right where they would have crossed. This guy, the water's barely even covering his shoes. These guys, you have water up, not even up to their knees. Yet you still have people that are trying to convince you that we're dealing with a raging river here. I mean, how ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh, you got me on that Salem's Lot. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not a big vampire guy, but I will watch it. Good to see you, Melissa. Stephanie says now the defense is saying he leaves at 2:15 before 1:30. Which is it? Well, they're saying he's leaving at 2:15 because he doesn't have a real alibi. They're talking about Betsy Blair's testimony. And if you guys want to hear a really strange tidbit, a little factoid, Betsy Blair lived less than a mile from Richard Allen when he lived in Greenwood. I don't know if that means anything. Not quite sure. Just throwing it out there. Same age. Maybe they knew each other. Maybe that's what pissed off Richard Allen. Was he meeting her there? Never know. There was a reason they didn't trust her in 2017. But one thing I did, and remember, guys, I'm an investigative journalist, whether you believe it or not. Those are things that I've uncovered. They lived less than a mile away from each other in Greenwood. And this was before Richard Allen moved to Delphi. Did they know each other? It was the day before Valentine's Day. Did the girls see something they weren't supposed to? I don't know. Is Betsy misleading? I don't know. Just an interesting fact. You don't believe me? Go look it up yourself. Stray jackets. Yeah, that's what they used to be called. Hey, what's up, Mustang? Well, you're welcome. Anti-boredom. That's what we do here. Jerry, hello. Mustang, Justice for Abby and Livy. Paradox. That's what Richard Allen was wearing in court today. Paradox. Daisy. Barbara Hall, smile. Jody Lynn, good to see you. Yeah, that I've watched a few Terrifier clips on YouTube. That shit don't look fun. Clowns are already scary as hell. I used to like the Freddy Krueger movies and Night of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead. When I was a kid, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and sneak in, and find those hidden VHS movies. That Death Wish 3. You guys ever watch that? When I was a kid, I used to sneak that movie out and watch it. That's a great flick. Charles Bronson. Whew. You want to talk about quality programming? What's up, Barbara? Susan, I have to say you were right about the footprint and that it looked like someone had slid down that bank. I was impressed. Then now, great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of these people here on YouTube, they're not really built for investigative journalism. They might be good like broadcasters and good in front of the camera, but as far as investigative work, they suck. Especially when they go around talking about the Deer Creek being a raging water. So I thought I'd put it right here in front of you guys. Does this look like raging water to you? You know, you've had multiple people try to sell that. That's what we call a wolf ticket. Ooh. Yeah, don't be buying no wolf tickets. So I thought I'd put it up on the screen. I mean, how ridiculous is that? You telling me that Richard Allen, 5 foot, well, he says he's 5'5", but most men they try to add an inch or two. Me, I used to take an inch off. But I mean, look at these. You have a couple women that are out here searching. But right here on the sandbar, it's barely over his shoes. And in the middle of the deepest point, it's up to his ankles. Yeah, you want to try to tell me that Richard Allen and the girls did not cross here? You could run through this water. Anna says, apparently there is a deeper channel in a spot in that creek. Up to the knees on an adult. Yeah, it's definitely up to the knees right there. That's where the girls crossed, right here. It's exactly where they crossed, right here. So you guys can tell yourself lies, you can tell other people lies, but it's right here in front of your face. We don't need to talk about it. Just look at the screen. There's no reason to talk about it. Just simply open your eyeballs, look at the screen. It should end the discussion. Lady Fear says, I've been following this case since 2017. I've literally went through every theory, and I didn't think it could be one person, and I didn't think it could be random, but now I'm not sure. Who was it? There was an interview with David Erskine. I think it was Lil Frank. And even David Erskine said the water was like barely up to your knees. I didn't take his word for it. So I put it on the screen for you. All you got to do is look. Hey, Anthony France, what's up? Was on Sonny's channel, didn't get a notification. No worries, man. Says people jumping ship already. What do you mean people jumping ship? Christine, how you doing? Barbara, not buying it at all. Miss Dog Lover says it is a pussycat compared to the Terrifier. From what I've seen on those little clips on YouTube, that movie looks terrifying. Hold on. My wife is texting me. Let's see. Oh, okay. She sent me something I requested earlier. Hey, GP, what's up? Daisy, what's going on? We've turned into Speculation Nation. Yeah, it appears so. Not here. Here, we like to put it right in your face. You know, I'll give you my opinion and I'll give you the reason why. How often does that happen? M. Solely. So he had them undressed and was interrupted and had the creek. I'm not understanding why Abby was dressed. Then why he was comfortable enough to put sticks on them and dress Abby after leaving. I don't know. You want to go ahead and retype that up? It's a little confusing. Maybe put it in a part 1 and a part 2. Anna says, I'm a strong woman, but most any man, even small ones, are stronger than I am. Well, I'm small and I'm stronger than most men. Honestly. I mean, you can ask anybody around here. I'll knock a motherfucker out. I don't know about now in my old age, but that's what I was known for. Heavy hands. And I'm not really that much bigger than Richard Allen. But I've knocked plenty of men out. I've knocked out multiple men on multiple occasions. Bink, there goes one. Bink, there goes another. And I'm not just, I'm not trying to act like I'm tough. It's just a fact. We used to drag bouncers out of bars by their neck and by their feet. I'm not proud of it, but that's what we used to do. So a lot of things don't shake me. And a lot of men don't scare me. Oh, I've been put down. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been knocked out. Dark Sacred Night. I think Richard Allen had them undressed on the south side of the creek, got spooked, and had them. Yes, that's what the prosecution is trying to say, and that makes sense to me. You have the clothing that was found. You guys might remember it was kind of labeled the leaked crime scene photos before the actual crime scene photos were released. And it was clothing in the creek. That makes sense to me. And the phone being found in Libby's shoe makes a whole lot of sense. If she's being told to undress, she's going to hide that phone in her shoe. And if any phone makes it across the creek, it's going to be the one with the phone in it, right? And I'm not trying to sound smarter than the blood stain analyst or the experts, but it's my opinion that Abby was dragged and moved. It's the reason why her arms are crossed. It's the reason that Libby's shoe was found under her. I mean, I'm no expert, guys, but common sense is kind of my forte. I mean, why does she have Abby's shoe underneath her? Because she was dragged over it. Why are her arms crossed? Because she was dragged away from out of sight. Hey, Donald Witten, shout out to North Fort Myers, Florida. Big up, Florida. Hey, you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm going to go see what my wife's talking about. Just give me a second. Okay, so we agreed on a movie. We will watch that game show serial killer movie. Anthony says, Sleuth, Ricky should have come forward again when they showed the BG video and asking for the driver of the car, etc. Well, according to the defense, he's not that driver, right? He's gone. He was gone before then. If you buy that, Lady Fierce, well, the evidence shows they crossed the creek. They are saying they took the girls somewhere else and killed them. Where's the evidence of that? Well, the evidence of that is the pings of the phone and how the phone somehow turned on at 4:30 a.m. And they say they can prove that it was turned on by somebody's actual hand, which I doubt, because like I said, we do an actual investigation. We actually do investigating here on this channel. And we've looked up the history of the iPhone 6, and if there's any water damage, it's known to turn on later on randomly. And also, it stores backup power even when the battery shuts off. Also, they're claiming that in the bridge guy video, that the bridge guy, his lips aren't even moving when they hear guys get down the hill. So it sounds good, right? It sounds good. And anybody who has kind of a dark heart and they ignore the fact that Richard Allen might be guilty, and they really don't have any love for Abby and Libby, they're going to ignore those facts and they're going to lean on that shit. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it. So maybe her and Richard Allen were buddies. Who's that, GP? Lala Sleuth, any thoughts about the disparity between the number of witnesses for the prosecution and the defense? No. The defense, they're going to go overboard. You had the prosecution give a 13-minute opening statement, and then you had Baldwin go over an hour or something like that. He was even warned by Gold, like, wrap this shit up, dude. But one thing I've learned by covering a lot of these trials is that juries don't like that shit. There's rumors that one of the jury members fell asleep. I mean, I don't know. Is there penalties for that shit? Don't piss off the jury. Don't play with their trust. And that's what they're doing right now. So that's not in the favor of Richard Allen, in my opinion. Damn, there has always been something questionable about her. That was one hell of a quick walk she was on, or going back. Yep. One thing I've learned is that they lived less than a mile from each other. I don't know if that means anything, could mean nothing, but it is a fact. But remember, guys, don't trust me. Don't trust YouTubers. Listen to what we say and then go do your own investigating. Yeah, me too, GP. There you go. There's a conspiracy for you. There you go. Something to chew on. Did they know each other? It was near Valentine's Day. Did the girl stumble upon them? Did she lie about the car that she's seen? Did she lie about the person that she witnessed? Did she run away after the girls caught her and Richard Allen on the south end of the bridge? Is that why she left at that time? You guys want to put a timeline together? There you go. I'm just using the defense tactics, you know? I'm creating doubt. You guys like to chew on the doubt. There you go. There's some more doubt for you. Isn't that what you want? It's like a Snickers bar. It's like a piece of jerky. Dark Sacred Night. How stupid would the murderers be to bring them back to the area they were abducted? Makes no sense to me. Oh, I'm not quite sure, man. It doesn't make any sense. You know what, though? In the Shannon Ho case, that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. Shauna Ho was kidnapped, but remember, she was kidnapped in the town. You know, kind of like if these Odinists were going to do a ritual, that's what they would do. They would find their victims, kidnap them, and then take them to an unknown location so they can do whatever they want in private. They're not going to risk doing it like this. Well, in the Shauna Howe case, what they did was they got pissed off at police. They got released from jail and kidnapped this young girl. Well, they went searching in a very similar place as the Delphi Monon High Bridge. And they searched and searched and they didn't find anything. Well, she wasn't kidnapped there, but right after they searched that area, the killers, they knew that they had searched there, so they dumped her there. And they tried to make it look like she fell off the bridge. They left her shoes on the bridge, and they made sure that her body hit the nails and things that were on the side of the trestle. It was a really horrible case. And a hunter found her, I think maybe a day or two after the fact. But law enforcement searched that area, and yet there she was, found in the area that was just searched. So it's a little bit different than Delphi. But I mean, it does happen. Yeah, Anthony, it's not the case. I was just using that as a bad example. It's just kind of funny to see people kind of jump on that. Hey, Metal Mama Michelle, what's up? Hey, Lady Fierce, flexing that muscle. What do you think about them saying they moved the bodies and brought them back? I say, show me the proof. You know, I just feel like the defense is creating this weird uphill battle. I mean, why are they making it difficult on themselves? They're trying to say that the prosecution has an uphill battle trying to prove this timeline, and then they go this route. I just feel like they're so hypocritical. Like they're just all over the place. Doesn't make any sense. I kind of feel bad for Richard Allen. But yet everybody's like, oh my God, you know, they don't have a case against Richard Allen. But I'm telling you guys, they have a strong case against this man. Daisy, most of them are sociopaths. I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, close. I mean, you know, maybe. Maybe. Daisy, maybe. SEO dork for hire. That is a puddle. I mean, all you have to do is use your eyeballs. I mean, look. These are the searchers. They're right there where the girls were found. That's exactly the location that they crossed. Here in the middle at the sandbar, it's barely covering the searcher's shoes. Now to the left, just under the word open, You see the 3 searchers nearly in the deepest area. And the shortest searcher is the one closest to us. And the water is barely over his knees. Yet they're trying to sell you this idea that the water was raging. There was flood waters. Tiny Richard Allen couldn't have crossed the creek, let alone the girls. You guys, just open your eyes. I'm putting it right in front of you. I hope you're not buying that. Crazy. I love fly fishing. Hey, Jari, good to see you. Chester, Prof is 5'2". Hey, look, I'm 5'6", so I'm on team short people. But 5'2", I mean, that's pretty much I'm pretty sure that's disability status. You know, I played football in high school. I've been a boxer, been a street fighter. I didn't really know what it meant to be short until I got older and slow. Anthony France says Greeno did a whole reenactment walking to the girls across the creek and the crime scene. People act like it's impossible. Yeah, I remember that. And I was a fan of Greeno back then. You know, so when he's covering the Delphi case, he has every right to. It's just his recent activities and his actions that keep me from being a fan and keep me from helping him out, things like that. You know, we reap what we sow. Each to their own, I guess. But yeah, I remember that's I used to watch Greeno back then. That was a long time ago. He would cross the creek. You know, he had his daughter out there and everything, and he was doing live streams, and the water was not deep at all. So, you know, I'll never take that away from him. But as far as supporting him and doing those things, you know, I just can't. But I'm not going to tear anybody down or attack anybody or anything like that. That's not what we do here. This is not a tabloid channel. There's a million creeps in this world, and we don't need to point them out. It's not our job here. Thank you, Jari. Sleuth, you can handle the Terrifier. I don't know about that. I've been allowing myself to be really scared, you know, from cinema lately. Thank you, Jar. Yeah, go hit that like button. Yeah, you could run across that creek with no issues. Look at this. I'm telling you guys, this is the day after. The girls were found about 20 minutes before this video was shot right here. Yet you have people and channels and YouTubers and whatever, you know, people that are supporting Richard Allen. They're just blatantly lying to you. They're trying to tell you that this water was deep, that it was rushing waters. I mean, look at those white caps right there. I mean, that's hardly white water rapids, right? I mean, right there in the center, near the sandbar, like it's barely covering this guy's shoes. Here you have water up to this guy's knees. I mean, come on. Lord of mercy.
I rest my case.
How about that? Yeah, if you guys are into politics and you're conservative, you don't get triggered, go check out Channel 2. But otherwise, don't. We keep politics separate here. Politics and true crime don't mix, in my opinion. Defense makes it sound like Libby was too huge to drag 7 feet. She wasn't even at 5'11", could do that. What do you mean, Lala? Well, she lied. Well, the defense lied and said that they reported somebody at the height of 5'11". I mean, that's just flat out. That's a bold-faced lie. And they need to be careful what they do with the jury's trust. But that's on them. They're going to find out soon enough that the defense is full of shit. And that is a lie. Stephanie, yeah, that bothered me. Stephanie says, anybody find it weird Richard Allen is wearing the girl's favorite colors? Yeah, that does bother me. Yep, there you go, Anthony. Stay the course. KCL says, see, I think the killer had them undress and put on each other's clothes. And I think Olivia couldn't fit in Abby's clothes. Probably told her too bad, but did it intentionally. I'm not quite sure. I think that he had them undress somewhere over here. You see the photograph on the screen over here to the right, under the bridge. And I think maybe Libby took off running. I think she picked up her pile of clothes. And Richard Allen said, get across that creek. Go now. And I think Abby was just like, I'm going to put some clothes on. Like, I don't care what you do. And I think she paid the price for it. I think he hit her. I think he abused her. I hear that she had damage to her face, like her nose, I think. And the clothing that they found in the creek, I think, was possibly in Libby's hands at one point. I'm torn between the fact that Richard Allen was trying to clean off his DNA, but I think now with the information that we're hearing, Libby most likely had all of her clothes in her hand, maybe fell in the water. It's very slippery, slimy. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to run through a creek or a river. There's a lot of slime on the rocks, and you're gonna slip. I guarantee they all slipped through there. Were completely drenched. But I think the most important thing for Libby would to hold on to the shoe with the phone in it. She knew how important it was. That was her lifeline. So I don't know if Richard Allen was washing the clothes in the water. I don't know but I think it's more likely that while they were crossing, or maybe Libby took off running, she dropped some clothing. Because now we know that Abby didn't have her socks. So there's one of the leaked photos of the clothing found in the water, and it's like this little pink item. That must have been Abby's socks. So it makes a lot of sense. He tried to sexually assault them right at 2:15, probably around 2:20, 2:25. They're arguing, they're fighting, they're undressing. And then right at 3:02 is when you have the Subaru crew kind of showing up. So he hears them coming to the bridge and he panics. He's like, oh shit, my plan's not working. I can hear people coming. You guys need to cross that creek. Libby takes off, picks up her clothing, takes off across the creek. Like, okay, I'm happy to cross that creek. It's not that deep. They're all familiar with that area. She takes off running, her clothes in hand, falls, drops some clothing, makes sure she holds on to the shoe with the phone in it. And Abby's like, well, there's still clothing on the ground. I'm not running around, bare naked. Puts on whatever she can. Happens to be Libby's hoodie or whatever, her shirt, Libby's hoodie, her shoes with no socks. And that could have happened even on the other side. Maybe they all picked up their clothing, Maybe he forced them to run across the creek naked with clothing in hand. To me, that makes perfect sense. So anybody trying to sell this wolf ticket about the water raging and it was super deep, I just want you to look at this imagery. This imagery is from the day after the very day that they were found. The water is extremely shallow. It's not rushing. This is a creek. It's not a river. You have it up to the ankles of some of the searchers in the sandbar and up to the knees of the folks who are pretty much standing in close to the deepest part. I think a little bit further to the left, it might be up to possibly their waist. But yeah, don't let anybody try to sell you a wolf ticket on this, guys. Richard Allen and the girls most definitely could have made it across this creek. And not only that, if you had to choose between going to prison for kidnapping and attempted sexual assault and crossing a cold creek, you're going to cross the creek 9 times out of 10. So Richard Allen lovers are going to try to sell you wolf tickets all day, but it's just, I'm sorry, guys, it's bullshit. And when you bite on that and you eat up that story, go look in the mirror because it's telling you a lot about who you are as a person. Honestly. GP says, here's the problem with all of the channels and all of the news. It's just too much now. It's turned into a freaking circus and it's very disgusting and hurtful for the families. I can guarantee that 100%. 100%. GP, well stated. I saw someone complaining about the blue and purple ribbons placed around to honor. Yep. And that's what the dark hearted are going to do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to favor the wicked. You guys might not agree with me, but this is all about good versus evil. 100%. 100%. So when you see people that are not glorifying and uplifting Abby and Libby's name and they're uplifting Richard Allen, like I get it. Yes, Richard Allen could be possibly an innocent man. We get that. But to ignore all of the evidence against him and to bite on everything that the defense attorneys throw out there, that is their job. But to sit there and ignore all the evidence against Richard Allen and try to create this weird idea that there's a conspiracy, do conspiracies exist? 100%. Does that mean that there's a conspiracy in this situation? No. So to ignore all of the information and the evidence against Richard Allen and to disrespect those girls' legacy by ignoring those facts, yes, let due process play out. I get that. But to ignore all the evidence against him, guys, that's just showing folks true color. And if you can't see that, that might tell us a little bit about who you are. Go look in the mirror. Remember that Michael Jackson song, The Man in the Mirror? Jenny. So he as haven't seen crime scene photos yet. That's going to be horrible. Yeah, it is going to be horrible. To hell with anybody complaining about the community and the families. Yeah. If there's anything tying the families to these murders, that's up to law enforcement to deal with. But here, they have 100% have our support. I am friends with Becky Patty. So we'll leave it at that. When Sleuth says talks amongst yourself, it reminds me of Mike Myers doing the lady character that was Barbara Streisand. Crazy, remember she got, what is that? Fake clept? You lost me. Lala, can we confirm that through court reporting on other channels, Abby was wearing Libby's pants, jackets, and had no socks? That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing no socks. She was wearing her own underwear. But remember, she stayed the night with Libby. So I don't know. Did she show up? Libby was apparently wearing sweats. So I don't know. Did she carry a pair of jeans, in her back pocket? So come on, guys. We have to do our own deduction here. Libby was wearing sweatpants. So how is Abby wearing her jeans? Were they carrying a spare pair of pants? Come on now. Pepper says I hate sports. Me too. I mean, I love to play sports, but I hate the politics behind sports. Anthony says Daisy, the defense is doing what they should, defending their client. The prosecution has to prove he's guilty. Yeah, it's up to you guys not to bite on everything that they're throwing out there. And let's just hope that the jury realizes that too. Which is very scary because it doesn't mean that they do. But I feel like knowing this defense team, they're going to lose the trust of that jury very quickly. I hope so, GP. Sick individual, Stephanie. They're going to say, where's Richard Allen's ribbons? You know what I mean? It's because they're evil. You guys won't say it, but I will. That's what we're dealing with here. 100%. You can dance around it if you want to, but I won't. KCL says Richard Allen called into the tip line and said he was at the trail and that date from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. he admitted to what he was wearing, same as BG, and then later changed his timeline. Well, of course he did. And the thing is I would be really convinced that towards his innocence if he had an alibi. But his only alibi is Betsy Blair and this quote unquote 4:30 apparent 4:30 a.m. phone turning on, and the defense says they can prove it was done by hand. But I've done my own investigation about iPhone 6s and when it relates to water damage, and it's extremely common. Lala says, so BG's face seen in the video. That's what I'm saying. If you can see the man's lips moving, then you can see his face. Which is it? They like to play this game where they want their cake, but they don't want to eat it too, right? All day. That's their whole game. Misinformation. GP says, and they will show their support for one of their own. The girl was part of the Delphi community, and they are and always will be loved. And I get it, They want to create this idea of some kind of conspiracy. But the truth is, it's going to be just much more simpler than that. And it's up to the defense to create this idea of doubt for their client. And these folks, these conspiracy types who need some kind of grandiose idea, to help them understand what happened, they're just going to feed into that. Not only that, if you look at anybody that's supporting Richard Allen, if you ask them, hey, like, let me just ask you, like, are you a religious person? Are you godly? They'll tell you 100% no, I'm an atheist, or I'm a Satanist, or and don't take this the wrong way, or I'm a liberal. You know what I mean? It's just a certain type of person that is a Richard Allen supporter. And I'm not trying to knock anybody. I'm just pointing out a pattern. I'm not discriminating. I'm just letting you know. Metal says, Stephanie, it was someone who was complaining the ribbons were biased. It's pathetic. It's about those precious girls. 100%. Those ribbons represent the death of Abby and Libby, not who killed them. Isn't that what the trial is all about? See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Good versus evil. We're losing that. We're losing our sense and our discernment for that. And I know where my discernment comes from. Where does yours come from? Do you have it? Mustang says if they can see his lips, then they have a better image of him. Exactly. And obviously we know that that's not true. So more disinformation. Yep, hot air. Yeah, there was court today. Well, not today, but Saturday. I think technically it's what, Sunday in Indiana? But yeah, go watch my live stream from earlier today. Go check it out. But yeah, we're going to catch up on chat and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go watch a movie with my wife. Yeah, that upsets me too, Metal. It's because they hate the girls, Just like when you walk in a room and you say the name of Jesus Christ. I always say it's like nails on a chalkboard. Go into a chat room with those who support Richard Allen and say the name of Abby and Libby. It's the same thing. Nails on a chalkboard. Don't take my word for it. Yeah, me too, KCL. Says, I hope the prosecution shares the voice comparison of BG and Richard Allen and a height comparison. To me, BG looks just like Richard Allen. Yep, I agree with you. Anthony France, you're asking 16 people to stay in a hotel, no electronics, and be away from the family. Do not piss them off. Exactly. And you guys, it was amateur hour with Nick McClellan when he couldn't get the screen to work. But the thing about Nick McClellan, one thing I've noticed is that he does shit like that. He acts like it's amateur hour. But if it is amateur hour, it really doesn't matter. But the point is that he did a 13-minute opening statement and Baldwin did over an hour. If you had me sitting on that jury and you over here blabbing away for a fucking hour and holding up my lunchtime, and you're not really saying nothing, you're not really giving me facts, you're going to piss me off. What's up, Michelle? Who came up with girls down the hill? I think that was just I think somebody just misspoke. Yeah, don't look into that too much, guys. These are people that aren't really following the case the way that we do, and they might have meant guys, but really it was they misspoke and said girls. Don't look too much into that. Well, remember, you guys have heard the audio, so don't let anybody change what your ears can hear. It's kind of like people telling you that the river was deep and it was overflowing and flooded. Oh, what are you going to believe? Your own ears? I mean, do you want me to play it? I'll play it for you. Trust your own ears. Here, I'll play it for you. Cleaned up BG audio. What do you hear?
Guys, down there. 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 Guys.
I mean, it's obviously guys. So trust your own ears and trust your own eyeballs. Remember, those with eyes who can see and those with ears to hear. Don't let anybody tell you what you can hear and what you can see with your own eyes and what you can hear with your own ears. Hey, devoted. Smoke and mirrors, really devoted. Stephanie says, why are Richard Allen supporters not saying anything about Richard Allen wearing the girls' favorite colors? It's a good question. Anthony says, abduct 2 girls, take off, and then return to a place where all of the locals are searching and dump the bodies. How the hell does that make sense? It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And Richard Allen doesn't have an alibi. His only alibi is Betsy Blair. And I already gave you guys a conspiracy to chew on. Hey, Violet. Yeah, GP. And that's why I don't get involved in the drama, because that's all it is, a bunch of idiots, childish folks. We have something that we need to focus on, and that's Abby and Libby and Justice. And all of the other cases that we covered over 100 cases last year. I don't know if you guys know that, but we covered over 100 different cases. Missing persons, murder cases, over 100 cases on this channel last year. And Delphi is the most important to us. That, Evansdale, and Flora, but we've covered so many cases. We've learned so much. Daisy says, press and police were all around the graveyard that night. And how could 4 to 5 guys go down there? It's not a battle ritual, Daisy. It was the cops that did it. It was Mike Patty. You know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous. They don't care about Abby and Libby. They don't care about their family. They don't care about anything. And we don't care about them. So we ignore them and we don't ever use their names. Because it's like Beetlejuice. Or Beetlegeist. However you pronounce it. Yeah, they are, Barbara. Dark Sacred Night. Yeah, too risky. Or was it brilliant? Thank you, Lady Fierce. Says Richard Allen is guilty in Trump 2024. Hey, you said it, not me. But yeah, that's common sense. Unless you're wicked, you know what I'm saying? If you're dark-hearted, that's not the way you see things. You're looking at the world through different eyeballs. Hey, what up, Chopper? Good to see you. Hey, Julia, what's up? I'm half caught up. I saw Tom's live earlier. That's about all I know. It sounds like everything from the defense is what we've already assumed to be true thus far. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing new, really. Absolutely nothing new. What's up, Lisa? It was mentioned all the crazy antics didn't start until after law enforcement evidence was provided. After that, we went into full tilt crazy mode, 60 confessions, poop facials. You see, they're milking it. Maybe. Hey Lala, I'm team twerp too. You know, I'm 5'6" on a good day. But I didn't know I was small. You know, I played football. I knocked out people who were, you know, over 6 foot tall. Took me a while to learn that I was little. But yeah, 5'2". That's super short. No, I wear a size 10 shoe. Richard Allen wore a size 6. Stephanie, OMG, the prof is nuts. He's accusing the Hells Angels. Yeah, I don't want to hear about these other YouTubers. These guys are weird. They talk about the Discord and Facebook, and they don't talk about real evidence or real factual information. They're not, and they don't care. They're just, they're appealing to a certain crowd. That's not, you know, and that's fine. That's just not the crowd that we're talking to. Eyeball says, I'm reporting this channel. Oh, well, I guess I better block you then. Bam. Bye. Here, I got something for you. You ready?
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back.
How about that? I can always smell the snake. I can hear him slithering, you know. Devotus's eyeballs is a known troll. I've never seen it before, but they're gone now. They are gone. Anthony, he did it when the water was close to same level. Yeah, this was literally the next day. You're telling me that on the 13th the water was rushing and overfilled, and then the 14th in the morning it wasn't? Crazy. Ridiculous.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Michelle says the testimony said Bridge Guy was interrupted when he was trying to have his way with the girls, so I think it is likely he tried to escape across the creek. Yeah, and he most likely forced them, right? If they're naked at that point, like girls undress, they're like, okay, I guess we have to. And then they pick up their clothing and he forces them across the creek. They most likely have their clothing in a pile in their hands, maybe, you know? Adrenaline, people lift cars up. Yeah, that's true too, Dixie. But one thing we know, and all you guys have to do is look up at the screen. If anybody tells you that that water was deep and rushing, I want you to say that Sleuth told me and proved to me that you are a stupid fuck. And then you can also tell them this.
Vincent, give me all you got! I swear, me and my brother.
Excellent.
I wonder if somebody calls my mama a whore. Is she?
Yeah, I don't know, Julia. They're blocked now. They are blocked now. Lisa says, usually guys into stuff like this will have some kind of online trail. Have they found anything like that yet? No. But Lisa, I like to use an example. When I was younger, I was a college recruiter. You know, people would be like, hey, I want to go to college here. And then I would sit down and I would interview them and I would help them out, help them pass their entry tests and things like that. Well, I worked with this young lady and she had a beautiful family. She had a husband of 10 years and two young, beautiful children. But the longer I worked with her, and there was like three people that worked, we had these offices, and she had her regular phone and she had a secret phone. And on this secret phone, she was having a secret relationship with a man for over almost a year and a half. Her husband would come in, take her out to lunch every day, and I felt guilty. I wanted to tell him every time I seen him because he would come in holding these two beautiful kids, right? These young, basically babies, like 3 and 2. And it broke my heart. I mean, it broke my heart. But as soon as he would leave with the kids, she would get on this secret phone and she would start talking to this fucking other guy. I mean, why couldn't Richard Allen do that? When it comes to CSAM or whatever. I mean, it's not that hard to have a secret life if you're trying to keep it secret. It's not. Especially when you work at CVS and McDonald's has free Wi-Fi and you have a computer at work. Or your brother-in-law passes away and now you have his laptop, or your daughter moves out of the house and now you're accessing her Facebook. Just saying, there's a million ways to stalk young girls without people knowing about it when you're a sick piece of shit. Anthony says the trial is going to get ugly. Oh, yeah. It's going to get ugly. Very ugly. Think about it. With the hair, it's already getting ugly. The hair that was found wrapped around Libby's hand, it sounds like early on, the prosecution just assumed that it belonged to Libby, like Libby's family member. Like it's obvious that it just wrapped around her hand when she was dressed with the hoodie. It's just obvious. Yeah, thank you, Julia. But for the sake of the jury, they're going to find out who it belongs to. They're going to get the alibi for this person because they don't want to allow the defense to have any ammunition when it comes to doubt, which is very smart. Want to rip that card out from that House of Cards. Hey, Violet Dragon. Yep. Anthony France, the water raging is bullshit. Hey, don't take it from me. All you got to do is use your own eyeballs. Look at the screen. We're looking right at the point where the girls crossed. And you have YouTubers and people who are trying to sell you wolf tickets. They want you to believe that water was raging. We're talking whitewater rafting. You got to buy a ticket to get on this river. First of all, it's not a river, it's a creek. And we're looking at the search team right there. This is the point where the girls crossed. And right there on the sandbar, it's not even covering the guy. It's barely covering that man's shoes. And over here to the left, under the word open, on open panel, these folks are almost in the deepest part. If they walk a little bit more to the left, it will get a little bit deeper. But to say that Richard Allen didn't cross that creek and the girls couldn't cross that creek, one, because it's too deep and the water was raging. I mean, what the fuck? Really? Are you even being honest with yourselves? If you guys know anything about Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. You can lie to us, but don't lie to yourself. That's a good question. Fight for justice. I don't quite understand all that. I think it has to do with the fact that the girls just were murdered, and that there was kidnapping that led to murder. But I don't quite understand it all completely either. I'm not the one to ask that. I'm confused by it too. Fight for justice, honestly. Lala, it never made sense to me that Richard Allen just trying to wash off the DNA from some clothes, but not all of the clothes. How could be know what had DNA on it? Well, I mean, it depends. Who did he have contact with? Did he wrestle around with one of the girls and not the other? If you want answers about what happened, you need to ask the bridge guy. That's the person who's going to tell you what happened. Back to business. Exactly, Julia. Back to business. Calm. Yeah, it's calm and not deep. I mean, look at the white water rapids that we're seeing. Jeez. I mean, anybody trying to sell you that wolf ticket, I mean, I don't blame them. If you buy it, I blame you. I don't blame them for selling the wolf ticket. I blame you for buying it. You're the idiot. And I'm a dumb asshole. But that makes you beyond. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy. If you can, don't be that guy. And I'm no expert. I'm no wise guy. None of that. But damn, if you can't use your own eyes, sheesh. Dark Sacred Knight says, I think when Richard Allen is on first platform, he was checking out the water level, not looking at the fish. No, the thing is, Dark Sacred Knight, he doesn't need to. He's familiar with this trail. he's frequenting this trail. You know, just like Libby loved this trail, Richard Allen loved this trail. He possibly knows about what's going on near the crime scene. He might have crossed that bridge multiple times. If he's the bridge guy, and the bridge guy looks extremely confident, you know, he's crossing that bridge quickly. You know, he may have done that dozens of times, gone down the hill, walked over there to the creek and saw how shallow it was. So he doesn't need to examine anything. All he needs to know is that Abby is struggling on that bridge, that Abby and Libby have crossed it, and just like John Douglas, the FBI profiler, has told us, the second they did that, they are now in a high risk area in the eyes of a predator. And Abby looking like his daughter, or excuse me, Libby looking like his daughter, and Abby struggling on that bridge. It may have been her first time. We keep hearing time and time again, this is a rite of passage. Well, we have Libby saying, "Don't worry, Abby. I'm here with you. I'll help you cross it. And I'm going to document it. You know, this is your rite of passage." Well, while she's having her rite of passage, you got this piece of shit predator watching from a distance saying, "Wow, this is very triggering to me. I've just walked this entire path. There was no other adults here with us. This is a Monday. I'm not quite sure why these young girls are here on a school day. I'm going through a rough time. I'm batshit crazy," which we know Richard Allen is because he eats his shit and he drinks toilet water. So we know the motherfucker is crazy. Now he's triggered by the fact that Abby is struggling on that bridge and Libby and Abby are in a high risk area. He's most likely fantasized about this moment time and time again. He doesn't need to stalk these guys. He doesn't need to be connected to Anthony Shots. He just needs to be a sick piece of shit who has walked the entirety of the trail and realized there's no other adults within screaming distance. And now these two young girls are in a high risk situation in a place that he's very comfortable with. And we're talking about somebody who is in very physical, good shape. We've seen him flopping like a fish on video. He has military training. We know that for a fact. And we know that he suffers from mental health issues. And he's going through the shittiest year of his life, which is 2016. Daughter's moving out, getting married. Brother-in-law has passed away. All on the month of his birthday, and his wife has emotionally checked out. It's a recipe for disaster. Exactly, KCL. Good versus evil. All right, we'll catch up on the chat, and then we got to get out of here. It is movie time. Anthony France with a scrub report, 52 likes, got 100 people in the chat. You guys make sure you hit the like button. Go share this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Consider becoming a member. CJ Cases agree to 100% sleuth about the hearts of the wicked. That's what we're dealing with, guys. That's why you'll never hear them mention Abby and Libby's name. It's just like walking into a room filled with wicked people and you say the name of Jesus Christ. It's like nails on a chalkboard. That's why we constantly on this channel, we say justice for Abby and Libby, because that's what it's all about. You'll never hear them talk about that. And when they say, "Oh, we care about the girls," watch them. The look on their face, even they don't believe it when they say it. Don't take my word for it. Thank you, Devoted. I don't know, KCL. like I said, we're not pro prosecution on this channel. We're not pro defense. We're pro victim's family, victims, and the friends of the family. And we try to do our best to let the facts and the truth, guide us. So I think they're being patient. Yeah, Michelle. And we got to remember that the defense is going to try to paint this picture, this misleading picture, right? But to these professional investigators, we are investigators, but we're not professionals. We do investigative journalism, but we're dealing with professional investigators here, law enforcement. This is what they do for a living. To them, it might be common sense, right? Like we're pretty sure who the hair belonged to. Anybody that it could have belonged to, maybe they've already done lie detector tests and found alibis. But when it comes to the jury, right, the defense is going to exploit any avenue that can create doubt. And we're going to fall for that shit too. Us as viewers, us as those on the outside looking in, when we hear about this hair wrapped around a hand, they may have already eliminated everybody that it possibly could have been. But when it comes to the jury, and they're already doing this. From what we've gathered, they're already doing DNA tests and comparing it to the hair. And I have a feeling that the defense wasn't expecting that. The defense would rather keep that as an unanswered question throughout the trial, right? They want that doubt. But the second that the investigators go and find out who the hair belongs to, verify their alibi, they get to remove that evidence from the clutches of the jury. And that's what they're in the process of doing now. And they will do that. Trust me, they will. Hey, what's up, Joey? And that's why the defense didn't mention it. That's why they acted like they weren't planning on bringing it up. And that's why they made it part of their opening mini statement. But what they didn't expect was for the investigation team to go, okay, well, we still have the hair. We'll go ahead and test it, and we'll test it against all the family members, and then we'll go ahead and run their alibi, and then you can shut the fuck up about it. Was mistaken, and Libby went and changed before she left for the bridge. Libby changed into a pair. Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. And I definitely, and unfortunately I can't take Tom's word for it. I know he might have been there, he might have done this and that. But if it's not factual and I can't hold it up in the air, I'm not going to lean on it. I'm sorry. There's just too many versions of that story. Who do I listen to? Do I listen to the 3 other people that were in the courtroom, or do I listen to Tom? At some point we need something that we can wave in the air. But I know what you're saying, Juliet. It's nothing against Tom. Because Becky Patty, in her testimony, she said that Libby was wearing sweatpants and Nike shoes. So, I mean, who's right, Tom or Becky? Yep, I'm right there with you, Devoted. Yep, that's what it is, Kitty. Good versus evil. Don't take my word for it. Just go over there and say something like justice for Abby and Libby. And they'll be repulsed by you. Kind of like saying the name of Jesus Christ in a Democratic rally. No disrespect to you guys who might be Democrats. Just using that as an example. Rosie is in the newest season of I Am a Killer. Really? Harvey? Welcome in, Harvey. Yes, Daisy. Yeah, that's true, Julia. That's true. Darkset says, even if you carry the one, it's still 0 facts. Yep, Mustang. That's why you got to bring all the facts that you can to that jury. All right, Lewis Freeman. Couldn't be a defense attorney. They have to know he's guilty. To me, that makes them as guilty as he is. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a certain kind of person to be a defense attorney. I'll tell you that. You got to be a certain kind of person. Misunderstood. Exactly, Sleuth. Sorry if I missed your comments, but I am out of time. Once again, Lady Fierce, thank you. Mr. Beer. What's up, Mr. Beer? I want a WrestleMania match for the presidency. Hey, you might get your wish. Hey, what's up, Farmer? Thank you for that. I'm here at 6 a.m. here, taking it all in. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yeah, most of the time. Most of the time. Hey, Debbie Mafio. Good day from Australia. What's up, Aussies? Shout out to the Aussies. Welcome in. Nicole, product reviews. Welcome in. Debbie. All right. If you guys need to get a hold of me, shoot me an email at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And I'm really sorry if I couldn't get to your comments. Farmer, yep, you know I love that word, odious. Chester, wolf ticket, 100. Don't go buying wolf tickets. I agree with that. I agree. Some pretty good coverage. Hey, Ruckus Rocks, what's up? Dark Sacred Night. Yep, that's true. Where did he go from there? Canadian, what's up? Thank you. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Jari, for holding it down. Good to see you, Ruckus. Pitbull Mom, welcome in. Sorry if I missed you guys. There's a chain of custody for all the evidence. We'll find out pretty soon who found what, where, and when. Yes, regardless of what the defense says. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lady Fierce. Thank you, Lady Fierce. Thank you, Lady Fierce. All right, guys. Like I said, if you're part of the replay crew, drop a comment. We'll get back to you. If you need to reach me directly, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Big shout out to all of you who have been donating to my channel, who have become members, been sending money to the Cash App and the Venmo. I couldn't do it without you. I mean, you guys make it possible for me to spend the majority of my time doing this. So thank you. This is what I want to do. So shout out to you guys. You may not see me tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you on Monday if I don't. So have a safe weekend and shout out to the Sleuth crew. I love you guys. Peace.